Well, hello. Welcome back to the Chamber Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Foster Garrett, Director of Marketing and Events for the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. Let me just give you a rundown of what's going on. So every week I interview a different chamber member to find out what they do and why they do it. Recorded right here in beautiful Bedford, Virginia. Oh, I'm tripping up on my words this morning. Good morning, everybody. Broadcasting on Grove Street FM and brought to you by Media Squatch. Before we get to the actual podcast, though, I do want to tell you about some of our upcoming chamber events. I'll just touch on one and I'll briefly mention the other. So we have partnered with the town of Bedford to revamp and revitalize the Keep Bedford Beautiful Commission. This is a beautification and litter prevention program that has been around since 1978 and has been an amazing addition to the Bedford community for many years. I participated in this when I was in high school, and it was one of my favorite service projects that we participated in out of Liberty High School. And it's still ongoing, and we are so excited to be bringing it back kind of full force. So we are having a cleanup day on June 22nd from 8 to 11 a.m. You can come with a group, you can come as an individual, you can bring your family, you can do it with some friends. But we will be cleaning up some of the town of Bedford's parks, neighborhoods, and streets. It is so much fun, honestly, to just get outside and do this. And it really benefits everybody in the Bedford community to pick up litter and trash. Because what's one of the biggest things that we say about Bedford? We say that it's beautiful. It's a great place for people to come live. It's a great place for businesses to come set up and really prosper. And this is just an easy way for us to really contribute to keeping Bedford beautiful. So if you're interested, you can show up to the municipal building on East Main Street between 8 and 11 a.m. on June 22nd, or you can go on bedfordareachamber.com and you can RSVP. If you RSVP as a group, you can put in the comments section of your registration where exactly you'd like to go. So if you want to go clean up Liberty Lake Park or one of the neighborhoods in town, you can do that and we'll mark it off the list for you. Otherwise, first come, first served to everybody that walks in day of. The other thing that I want to briefly mention is one of our educational smart sessions that is coming up on June 27th, and we'll be at Clam Diggers from 5:30 to 7 p.m. This smart session is really geared towards small business owners and people that help manage and operate small businesses. And the conversation is going to be led by Mike Schmidt with Jay Galt. But all of our smart sessions are really group conversations between business people that either have experience in the topic or want to learn more about it, or just want to kind of advance their business as a group. So our topic is credit, capital, and cash flow. And the idea behind this is that a lot of small business owners, when they start their business, they have a dream. And a lot of people surround themselves with people that know about some of the aspects of running their business, whether it be invoicing or managing that cash flow in the down periods and the high periods and making things work. But this is a really great opportunity to kind of come together, share your experience with kind of building your credit profile, learning some facts about behind the scenes, like with building your credit and accessing capital that you might not have known before, and some tips behind managing your cash flow. So it should be a really great time. Like I said, it's June 27th from 5:30 to 7 at Clam Diggers. So come on out for some drinks and some dinner. And it should be a really great time. You can learn more about that on bedfordareachamber.com as well. It's free to members and only $10 for non-members. But all of our events are on bedfordareachamber.com on our full calendar of events. And I'll drop our phone number at the very end for everybody who listens all the way through. You can find that. You can call us for more information. So make sure to listen to the end. But without further ado, please allow me to introduce today's guest, Lindsay Dempster with Frosted Ridge Confections.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. Sorry, we got the train going by. So I said it always interrupts my podcast whenever I'm here. So we are Frosted Ridge Confections. We are located in Forest, Virginia. A little background, our company was created out of a need for our family, and then we decided to move that into service for the community. Our allergen-based goods, and cakes and pies and all the things are specifically nut and egg-free. And then we also offer, most of the storefront now is also gluten-free and dairy-free, so it serves multi-purpose. So whether you need it or you don't, there's still something there for you. And then we have been in that space since July of 23. So we're coming up on 1 year in our space. However, our business we've been in business since 2022. So
That's so exciting. I can't believe it's been 1 year.
it's gone by fast.
Seriously.
It's been challenging. And then I always say it's also rewarding. I think I've learned a lot about myself and the community in general. So, and I mean, our community is wonderful. I think they rally behind a lot of businesses, and I think small business is pretty much the backbone of the community. There's
Absolutely.
so many small businesses, even if you don't have a storefront. There's still a lot of small businesses that run from home, and we don't see their faces quite enough. So it would be nice to be able to start integrating and working with some of them. And so we have featured in our space, since we've renovated, we have some candles and some other things from local vendors. So we're working through getting some more of that stuff in their space to kind of feature them that don't have a storefront and give them more of a face within the community too. So.
That's amazing. I think I'm going to take it back a little bit.
You're okay.
Because I love your story, and I feel like I see you so often now. I get little tidbits of everything about you whenever I see you. But before we kind of get into Frosted Ridge, can you tell us a little bit about your background and about yourself?
So I am a nurse by trade. I went to school for a whopping 8 years to get my bachelor's.
Oh, wow.
I originally started for pre-med in medical research, and then decided it was going to take too long to go to school. So I switched over to nursing. So I did nurses training through Lynchburg General when it was still a diploma program. So I'm telling my age just a bit. And then got my bachelor's from Liberty. Our family's from here, so I graduated from local high school in town and I tried to leave at one point, but it suckered me back in. So we're here. I met my husband in high school, and we have 2 kiddos, and that's where we come from. And I have been nursing for about 13 years. I've worked at Lynchburg, Roanoke, and then I am currently working in Bedford at Bedford Memorial, and I've been there for about 4 years. So, and it's small but beautiful and very community based. And I think all the staff in itself is very, kind of like a big family. It's not once you work there, you work there. It's not like you work there and leave and they forget about you. I've had people, even when I wasn't working, still check on us and make sure that we were doing okay. So it's nice to be in a spot where you feel loved and cared for. So.
That is really incredible. And when I found out that you were a nurse and still continuing to work as a nurse, I think it's amazing because you already work such long hours with baking.
Yeah.
And nursing is like a completely different type of work, but it's still the long, grueling work.
Yeah, and they're both service oriented. And so we were going through a struggle. My dad had a double lung transplant in November of 22. And we've been very open in public about our background and our story and some of the struggles and challenges because one, you never know who else is going through something like that and how our story might be able to help them somewhere in that capacity. But he had double lung transplant, was doing well, and then was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer in April and May of 23. So in between our build out and signing leases and things like that of our bakery last year before our opening, my dad was ill. So I stepped away from nursing for just a little bit. So to try to balance all the things was difficult. And so we stepped away, but I went back in January of this year. So they're both come from the heart and there's a service to that. And so God knew what he was doing. And so I was able to step away for a little bit to help take care of my dad and not be so overwhelmed and become one of his caretakers, but and to be his nurse for a little bit. So I was still nursing, just not in a hospital capacity. So, and doing the bakery. So they all come from the heart. I think they're all service. It's just a different way to show love to people. We're Southern. So I think a lot of our love comes in the form of food and, I need a creative outlet too, I think, with everything that was going on. And so baking has given me that creative outlet since we never have the same menu. So,
I've noticed that.
yeah. So it's given me a creative outlet, but also there was still a pull in my heart to go back to nursing. And part of me didn't want to because of all the things we experienced with my dad, and I wasn't sure if I could go back. But going back and then having the family that Bedford Hospital gives you, like in the staff and friends that I've made over the years there, was actually comforting. And so it was nice to be able to see them again and be surrounded by people like that. So
yeah, I feel for you in a lot of ways. I think that people are nervous to talk about their family situation, especially when it comes to medical, because it's both our business and not our business, and both people's business and not their business. But it happens regardless. And I'm going through things with my family as well right now, just on the medical side. But it's amazing to have an employer that really understands and gives you that space. And I think also with Bedford Memorial, I talk to people and they don't even know that we have a hospital in Bedford.
yeah.
And it's so funny to me because I was born there, first of all. My entire family was born there when they still had a maternity ward. But I've been there so many times throughout my life. And even when you have to sit in, the ER waiting room for 4 or 5 hours, the moment you really we joke, I got bit by a dog last year.
Yeah.
Literally while working, I was visiting businesses and I made the mistake of almost touching somebody's dog, which never touch a stranger's dog.
That's right.
Never touch a stranger's dog. It's bad. And I just ended up at the ER, and we joked, me and my mom, who sat there with me for 4 hours waiting. We had the people that we met in the waiting room, we're going to send them Christmas cards because we'd all bonded so well.
Yeah.
Because that's just the environment that Bedford Memorial creates. And so I think it's amazing to hear, kind of on your side of things, that you also have such a great relationship with the people there and that they enable you to do what you do.
So in the beginning of our business, one of the things that we did, and Bedford still does this, but they have a cake or dessert contest usually in the springtime for their employees. And so we actually entered that contest with a cake. And that was like the first or second cake that we had did just for fun.
Yeah.
And we won the event thing. So not knowing a thing about what I was doing, we won. So my husband was like, I think that's a nod that you might want to look at this and do this. So, and it kind of stemmed out from there. And then, we created the allergen friendly base out of that for my daughter and for our family. But, it was just a surprise because I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Some days I still don't know what I'm doing, but, we work through it, and I've learned along the way, and, just trying to create different products, creative products, things that we don't see around here. And that's why our menu rotates. So, because there'll be things that pop up throughout the week. I'm like, I think we could do that. So we try things. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it does. So
I think that you have a wonderful, well, you mentioned this earlier, but the community support, just seeing the people that interact with you online, but also the people that I hear in person that really love your products, whether it be because they can't find not allergen friendly and gluten-free products anywhere else that are homemade and really amazing. But going back to the creative part, I've seen some of the incredible things that you've been doing, like the Pop-Tarts.
Oh,
that was so cool. I've never heard of anybody making homemade Pop-Tarts.
So we've done them a few times. We did them for we did them for Turkey Trot, and then I haven't done them since because they're quite labor intensive.
It seems like it, yeah.
But there's a few other bakeries around that do them. However, when we combine gluten-free, when we do gluten-free, it's also dairy-free. So for the most part, I don't like mixing, intertwining gluten with dairy because there's generally what we've come to find is that a lot of people that have a gluten allergy also have a dairy allergy or intolerance or whatever you want to call it. So trying to combine some of those, and sometimes the batter just doesn't want to cooperate. I mean, the dough or whatever doesn't want to cooperate. I am not professionally trained. I'm self-taught. So sometimes I don't say the right thing the right way in the technical term. But anyway, we've done that one time. We did them for turkey trot, I've tried them in the bakery several times since. I don't know what I did for the turkey trot, but they worked out great. And then now I just can't figure out what I did or didn't do. But we generally keep some sort of pastry or something specially tweak. So like this weekend, we're doing some chocolate barks and some other things because it's Dad's Day and
Gotcha.
we wanted to do chocolate bark for a while. So, switching some of those things up, we always have staples. So I say we always have some sort of cupcake. We always have some sort of muffin or scone. And then cookies, a variety of cookies. The other stuff rotates or just gets randomly placed in and out because there's so much stuff that you can do. And some people are like, well, a couple months ago you did whatever, but you haven't done it again. So generally we'll feature it the following week. So if there's a request. But this week we're going to do some specialty stuff like chocolate bark. We'll do some lemon bars this week. And then a lot of the flavors are geared towards like either brunchy style things or dad stuff. It's this weekend's Father's Day. So
you're making me hungry.
So we're trying to integrate some things. But we do try our best to feature each week. Generally, the confetti cake stays on the docket as a staple for kids and stuff. Because sometimes we do some fancy flavors, and that's sometimes not kid friendly. So,
well, what is your favorite thing that you've made?
So even though my daughter has allergies, we like peanut butter. I grew up on peanut butter. That was like a big staple in our house. So we've had to switch over to like alternate butter. So like sunflower seed or soy butter. And so we were able to create something that tastes like peanut butter that's not peanut butter using some of the alternative butters. So like we do truffles, Buckeye truffles, but without peanut butter. So they have like a seed butter and soy butter in them. And then I like doing candies. So I usually do them for myself. So like raspberry jam truffles and things like that. So they're all up for special order anytime. It's a time consuming process. And so we don't usually generally feature them in the store. So that's why I said this week we're doing chocolate bark. It's a little easier process than doing truffles. And then just overall in general, it's a God thing. It has to be how we've been able to create certain things and cake and cookies and all of the things that are allergen friendly because I only had one jam when we opened the store, and that was it. I didn't like baking cookies. I just baked cupcakes, and that was it. And so I had never made a scone in my life, like absolutely not. And I was like, okay, well, I can't open a store and just have cupcakes. So we have branched since then, and to be able to do some of that stuff I'm proud of myself, but also proud that the public has like been able to receive us that well, even with our mistakes and maybe products that didn't like swing the best way. And understanding that we're still learning, and this world of allergen life is rewarding to be able to service those folks, but it's also challenging because the makeup of all the things is completely different.
Yeah.
You're the way the batter works, the way the dough works, the way everything works. And so it just takes time to create some of those things. And so we've kept staples because I know I can do the staples, but we've had a request for breads and croissants and things like that. But it takes a lot of time to be able to create those in the way that you want to present them. So we're working through that. But proud in general of being able to create products that people can eat without the concern and without the worry of all the things. And we were able to create a space that people feel like they can come to without that worry, and I think it took time to trust that process. Like anytime somebody puts something in front of you that you might be, sensitive to, or you've tested in the past, but it still made you sick. Like, about a month ago, we had pizza that made us sick, and it will take me some time to like go back there and try it again. And so, or just pizza in general, because you're like, kind of like, I don't want pizza after it didn't agree with you. So some of those things. And so I think it took some time, and then to be able to create trust and bond with the community that the products are good, and that the products are also okay for you to eat. I went on a tangent, but it's just,
You didn't.
it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to take on, and it's a lot of trust. There's a lot of, sense of responsibility on my side to be able to have those products and to make sure that they are safe in some capacity. So, yeah, we're just proud to be here. I think after the last year, just still standing
Yeah.
at this point, with everything personally and business. And I think that's why we've had to be so open, is because we've had so many challenges. It's not that we've ever wanted to like close our doors, but, the challenges that we've had personally and business related, and more personally than business, is that sometimes you just need time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need a week. Sometimes we just need a month, in December, and to be able to process grief and grief in any capacity, because there's different stages of grief with death, and even things in life, we grieve those things, is how to process. And sometimes it smacks you upside the face when you least expect it. So some of those times I'm like, yeah, we can't be open this week. And it's just because I can't emotionally function. And that's just being truthful and dead honest in that capacity. So, and just to be standing. And that's really a testament to God's strength, because I couldn't stand every day at this point without him. So, it's been a challenge. So I keep saying that, but it's the truth. But we're here. We're still standing. We have a community that backs us, and we are entirely grateful for that. And that people saw things in us before we saw it in ourselves. So,
yeah. And I think that even before you guys had a storefront, you guys were still doing really incredible things and being recognized for it, but you had to fight every step of the way.
Yeah.
Because you are a 2023 Gauntlet winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Do we add in, we won Bedford Chamber last year too?
Yes. I don't know how I almost forgot. Yes, you won the Rising Star Award as well.
So, we opened in July, and then we got the nomination in August, something like that?
Yeah.
And then we won in September. Prior to that, we did the Gauntlet. So, you forgot about the award, but I forget about the Gauntlet. But it was quite the challenge. You talk about a capacity of people that are above par, like insanely smart, creative, and community-based and community-backed, as well as the people that are in there that are business, that are presenting a business. Part of the Gauntlet is the community focus. And so you have to be community focused, and how is it going to support the community? How is it going to build a community base around you? And your reward, and that all of the things in your presentation and in your business plan forward needs to be, there's a community part of that, like in that business plan. So, Gauntlet is county based, mostly based out of Vinton area. They have intertwined into Bedford County, Roanoke, Rockbridge, some of the upper way towards Roanoke area, Lexington community. And there is a group of businesses or people that own businesses or would like to start a business, apply, and you're chosen to be a part of the Gauntlet. There's a small fee. I've forgotten what it is, but it walks you through everything from ground floor to financial planning to business planning to what strategy looks like. And there's people in the Gauntlet itself that oversee the Gauntlet that have been there for a long time. And then you have people that step in that have been in the Gauntlet that speak to volumes of how they work and what they do. And, we were one out of 65, that presented a business plan, and we got 8th in that, in the competition.
So crazy.
I didn't know what I was doing. I wrote a business plan. I had no idea. I was working night shift at the hospital, not even going to lie. And in the time that I had randomly at work and off work in the middle of the night, I would write that business plan. So I went back to read it after I submitted it, and I didn't remember writing half of it because
Oh my gosh.
I wrote it tired. And I was working a lot then at the hospital. However, we got 8th, which is wonderful. And that year in itself, 23, out of the top 10, 3 of them are local bakeries. So that was pretty cool. Our backing in business was, and a lot of it was, we were going into a new market area. We were going to break a market in this area that hadn't been broken. There is no allergen based bakery or business in general in this area. And so when we were presenting, they weren't sure. They're like, well, we're not sure how that's going to go. And I'm like, neither do I. But, this is where we are. This is what we want to do. And so to go back and read through that, I sound a lot smarter than I thought I did in that places. But we have done well. And we've had a challenge, before Christmas, we were open 4 days a week. I went back and was thumbing through TikTok today and saw how many hours we were actually open before Christmas, which I don't know how I was able to manage that. But, even cutting back to, we're now 2 days a week. It's still busy. It's still, we've just shifted in how we work. So I do all the things, which a lot of small business owners do. We run emails, run phone calls, we do social media, we do all the financial part of it and all the background stuff, as well as baking as hands-on. So we do all of those things as well as run the storefront side of life. And I didn't have enough time when we were open 4 days a week to do all of the things.
Yeah.
So we've had to cut back 2 days a week so that the back end can run as far as business life and prep life, so that there was still product and that I still kept my sanity. And we've been able to create more business, catering, things like that, and doing events, as well as the storefront, now that we've only cut back to 2 days a week in the storefront, because I didn't have any time to plan any of those things. And so that was suffering when we were open 4 days a week. The Gauntlet, we won 8th place in. The other 2 also placed in the top 10, Holy Heaven Cookie Company and Love and Butter. She's Liberty University kind of based and does some stuff for them. But amazing overall, like the 3 bakeries won in the top 10.
That is really incredible.
So out of 65, we placed 8th. We did get a little reward, and that was presented to us before we actually opened the storefront. So we went into that with a good outlook on what we could potentially do. So, and then we won for Rising Star, and I was flabbergasted. So, and I completely lost my cool and cried.
It was a beautiful moment
because you work so hard at something, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels this way, is that sometimes you don't see it, don't hear it, and don't know it, that what the community feels or thinks about you. We just keep running, we just keep moving forward. And so sometimes when you get those awards and you get recognized, it gives you a small tidbit of what the community feels, and then it's rewarding. There's some, it's kind of not a pride thing, but it's satisfaction that what you're doing is working, or what you're doing is doing some good, because outside of that, you don't generally hear it. If that makes sense. So,
it's very meaningful, just all the way around. The fact that we're doing the nominations for this year's awards right now. And yesterday I went and visited some of the businesses that have been nominated. And I think it means something to be nominated at all, because somebody recognized you and somebody thought that you were deserving.
I don't even have to win.
Yeah.
Much less anytime we get a nomination, I'm like, oh, really? Wow. Because it's just a recognition. I don't need the award, and I don't really need the nomination. We do this because we want to, and because I love it, and because I love the community that we're serving. But when you do get those things, it is meaningful, and it gives you a sense of not a duty in a weird kind of way, that, what you're doing is right. What you're doing is beneficial to people and the community itself. And you feel rewarded because all the hard work that you feel like doesn't get seen. So it's a noticing point for yourself too. Kind of a checkmate in a weird way.
Definitely. Well, you guys, you just did a grand reopening, didn't you?
We did. Sorry, I was taking a sip of my coffee.
Oh, you're good. I caught you in about
yeah, so we closed for 2 weeks, and we were also open about that, is that that was a hard moment for me. We closed because we're cleaning out my dad's house to put on the market. So at first it was an excuse to close, and I'm being truthful and honest about that, is that it was an excuse because I didn't want the public to know what we were really doing or what I was really doing and my family was struggling with. So, but we needed more time. And then I was like, while we're at this, it's the last week of school, it's the first week of summer, and we're cleaning out house. And so why not clean the bakery and redo some stuff too? So we went ahead and announced renovation. I put the cart before the horse. So that's good. So last week we spent a good 75 hours in the bakery
wow.
between baking and renovating because I'm a last minute kind of person.
Yeah.
I plan for things, but they never happen to the last minute because other things generally take precedence before that. However, I had a wonderful person that is working with me now that I swear God sent her to me because she had construction skills. She's also a teacher. She's taller than my children. And also has culinary skills. So she's a culinary grad.
Nice.
Moons ago, about 5 years ago, she graduated from culinary school, decided it wasn't really for her anymore. And then she's like, actually, I'd like to experience something different. Where she worked, she felt like it killed her love for the kitchen a little bit. She still cooks at home and is a wonderful chef, but she was like, I just want to try something different. So she's working with us for a little bit. And she was able to help last week because I have no construction skill at all.
Yeah.
So I throw out the reno and have all these bright ideas, but putting them into fruition and all of the things because of my skill level, I'm pretty bad at that. So, but we did a renovation last week and we finished up and reopened on Saturday. We have just rearranged some stuff. We needed some new seating. Our seating after a year was not doing the best because they were Amazon basic seats.
Yeah,
and so
I have some of that.
We started seeing the screws pop out on the floor. So it was time. So we've added some new bench seating in, and then we created a little book nook in a weird way. So, we just shifted furniture, and then we have a free library. So,
oh, nice.
Our library is built based on books that people bring in, and anytime you bring a book in, you actually get free coffee. So you can swap trade books. But if you bring a book from home, even to swap it out, you still get free coffee. And we're building a free library. So you can come in and get books. And then if you love a book, we say, leave a book, take a book, love a book, keep a book. And so just another way to integrate community life and some conversation. And so it was just nice. So I think we have about maybe 150 books on the shelf right now.
Wow.
We need more kids' books.
Yeah.
I have plenty at my house. However, my kids won't let me take them away from them. So, and then we redid our hallway, and also we painted our bathroom, and just overall, just some small decor upgrades and just some refresh. So in the hallway now we have a community wall. So, business cards, community life, if there's events or whatever, flyers, things like that can go there. And then we had a prayer wall, but I didn't feel like it was quiet enough, if that makes sense. I just like to be steps away from people when I'm thinking and wanting to do some, to write out something. I would always want it to be more private, not, I feel like I have to do it at the counter or in front of someone. So we kind of smush that back in the hallway a little bit so that it's not so out front, so that you can take a moment and just breathe and write something out that's in your thoughts. And even if it's a prayer or praise or just a thought, I just need to get out of my head, that it could be posted there. So
that's amazing. I love how you were just Yeah, let's do 75 hours worth of work in my store.
In 1 week, 5 days.
In 1
That's
week.
good. And bake. It's fine.
And work at the hospital.
Yeah.
And take care of your family.
I actually did not work this past weekend. So
nice.
I got to breathe on Sunday. This week starts, I work a day a week starting this Sunday, actually. Every Sunday I'll be working at the hospital. So we are switching our hours to Saturday and Sunday. We did a poll amongst followers and stuff on Facebook as well as Instagram on like what day you would like us to be open.
Mm-hmm.
We've been open on Fridays and Saturdays to kind of serve earlier business style stuff, but in the summertime, I don't think anybody's going to come to the bakery at 7 a.m. So we're going to switch those over for the next few weeks or, however long to see how that goes, to see if there's a boost or increase in sales and things like that in business life. So we're switching to Saturday and Sunday. That will start 2 or 3 weeks from now. I posted them yesterday because I work the next 2 Sundays day shift at the hospital. Gotcha. And so I can't be in 2 places at one time.
I was going to say, that sounds like a lot.
Can't be in 2 places at one time. When I work night shift, it's not a big deal. I can do both things, but, yeah, so we will start that and see how that goes. I think it starts at the last Saturday, Sunday of this month. So the 29th and 30th, we'll start the Saturday, Sunday. And then the next 2 Fridays, we were doing Friday, Saturday. However, we're not doing Friday anymore. So the next 2 will be just Saturday. And we posted all that yesterday because it's confusing. When you're switching up stuff, can be confusing. So we hopefully that will open the door for, it being a weekend that you have a little more time to like sit and, experience the bakery and the cafe itself. And for people that haven't been in, we have a fireplace.
Oh, really?
And I don't know how long it's been there. Those buildings are from the 1960s. And so why out of all of the little sections that we have a fireplace, and it's actually an operating fireplace, we don't use it. So the fire marshal doesn't come get us. We do not use the fireplace. It's for looks. But it's there. And so they had to have used it at some point. Yeah. But it's a really cool focal point to our store, and a unique focal point that most places don't have. So
that is really cool.
We've adjusted seating. So actually the hearth of it, the base of the fireplace now serves as a bench. So it's kind of
nice. Well, I will be coming there sometime in the next couple weeks. You being open on Sundays is amazing because I always want to go somewhere on Sundays, and it's like I always go to the same 3 places because they're the only places open. So it'll be nice to kind of branch out. But do you have any other things that you're looking forward to or that you'd like to share before we kind of wrap up?
So we're going into summer, so we'll keep those hours generally over the summer, and hopefully, and we can keep a lookout for that. We're probably going to start hosting some sort of events or classes.
Nice.
That's the hope, to fill some space during the week because the bakery is pretty much open on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. To be able to do some co-op stuff with a floral decorating or arranging cupcakes and a mocktail or, something like that, just to have some fun. So, but I hope you guys come to see us.
I think a lot of people will be coming to see you after listening to this, but if they want to get in touch with you regarding your store or catering, what's the best way to do so?
So, Instagram or, Facebook Messenger is a direct way to message there. And then generally you might get an auto message back that will have our email and phone and things like that. Our email is our business. So Frosted Ridge Confections VA as in Virginia @gmail.com. And so you can always email there or direct message us for any questions.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Well, if people want to learn more about the Chamber, you can call us at 540-586-9401, or you can visit our website for information about our mission and the perks of becoming a member. But also on our website is a full membership directory featuring businesses and nonprofits and all sorts of great things in the region, including Frosted Ridge Confections. But that's all for today. Thanks so much for listening, and keep an ear out for the next Chamber Vibes podcast.